will show you how to create different types of charts on Looker Studio to visualize your data. First, we need to understand the concept of metrics and dimensions. Then we will create the scorecards to show plain numbers. Also, we will create time series to spot trends over time and cumulative time series to compare our current performance versus the past. We will use tables to visualize multiple dimensions and metrics, and also to visualize images, and heat maps to understand our peak hours. We will use pivot tables to understand our hierarchy of data, and distribution charts like pie charts, bar charts, area charts, and Treemaps. We will also use relationship charts like this line chart or these scatter plots to find relations between metrics, and the favorite for marketers, funnels like this one, like this one, this one, or this one, and geo charts or maps like these ones, as you can see in here. Finally, we want to compare our current marketing performance with our goals. And for that, we can use bullet charts or gaze charts. And this is how to create different charts on Looker Studio. I will see you in the next lessons. I will explain you the concept of metrics and dimensions. This will be helpful not only for Looker Studio, but any reporting tool or any kind of data analysis. I will start with metrics, and the metric is a number, a measurement. Think of sessions, impressions, time on page, ad spend, engagements, whatever is expressed as a number is a metric. In this scorecard, I am only visualizing a metric. In the next chart, I am visualizing a metric sessions over time. Particularly, I am visualizing my sessions by month. When I say by, I am segmenting my data. I can segment by month, by day, by week. So the dimension or the way I segment my data is by month. In the next example, I am visualizing a pie chart where I break down my sessions by device category. As you can see, this is super simple. I simply need to choose a kind of chart like a time series, a scorecard, a map, and this chart has dimensions that I use to segment my data and numbers as metrics. I will do it with maps. If I go to maps, you will see that I am breaking down my sessions by country. And here with tables, what is the beauty of tables? I can visualize multiple metrics and dimensions in the same views, unlike the other types of charts. So here in this table, I am visualizing by page title my sessions and my conversions. And finally, let's see, or let's say I want to bring day of week. Day of week is a dimension because I want to break down my data by day of week. I use also this dimension as metric. What will happen? I will click on edit, and you will see that Looker Studio will convert dimensions into metrics by aggregating as count. So this is counting the number of days of week. So it is one in this case. That's why it is mostly an error, and that's why you want to make sure you understand the difference between metrics and dimensions on Looker Studio. To create a scorecard like this one on Looker Studio, I will go to Add a Chart, choose a scorecard, and paste it right here. As metric, I will choose amount spent. I am connecting, for this example, meta ads data. Here, I will scroll down and I will turn on the comparison date range. Instead of none, I will select previous period and apply. Here, I will choose a sparkline and I will select date as dimension so I can see a time series over time of my total ad spent. On style, I will change to compact numbers. Also, I will change the red of the decreasing color, and I will show the comparison label. Once I do that, I will go to sparkline, I will change it to purple, and I will fill this sparkline. If I scroll down a little bit more, I can center the text. The name of the field, the metric, and the comparison label, I can center them, and I can add a background. I will choose white, and I will choose a border of 25. And here is how you can create a scorecard on Looker Studio. What is next is I will copy the next scorecard. So I will choose again, add a chart, a scorecard. I will paste it right here, and the metric will be this time CTR. So I will type CTR right here. Then what else? I will scroll down and I will also enable a comparison. This time I won't choose a sparkline. I will choose a comparison option. So instead of none, I will choose value, and the target value will be 1%. 1% expressed in decimals is 0.01. Show us progress, and now I will change the style of this scorecard. So for this scorecard, again, I will change the red of the decreasing numbers. I will hide, or I will show the comparison label, and instead of a bar, to show my progress, I will use a circle. Here, if I scroll down, I can center the text. So I will center the field name, the metric, and also the comparison label. And again, I can change the background of this scorecard and also the borders, the radius of the border. And here is how you can create scorecards on Looker Studio. To create a time series chart on Looker Studio, first I will go to add a chart, choose time series, and I will paste it right here. As dimension, I need a time dimension like date. And as metric, I can choose amount spent. I am connecting methods for this example. Here, I will do a style, I will set a title, and as title, I will choose what is our performance over time. I will make this title a little bit bigger, and then I will change the color of this time series. So I will scroll down, and instead of blue, I will make it purple. Then I will change the thickness to 3, so it is thicker. And then if I scroll down, I can set a date reference line. Here, as reference line, I can choose a metric, and the metric can be amount spent, so I can see my average spend over time. Here, I will change to this purple, this reference line, and I will make it less thick. Here, I will change the grid line. I will disappear the grid line to make it transparent. Then I will change the background to white, and I will change the border to blue, and finally I will change the font of my time series to gray. And here is how you can create a time series on Looker Studio. How to create a cumulative time series on Looker Studio and why even care. So here I will go to add a chart, then I will paste a time series here, I will paste it, and I will set a custom date range. In this case, I recommend you to choose this month, this year, this quarter, this week, but not this month to date or this quarter to date. I will show you why. So I will set this month, I will apply, and I will choose a comparison date range, and I will set previous period and apply. Then I will go to style, I will set a title for this chart, and I will say compare versus the past. Here I will scroll down, and I will change the color to this line to purple. I will change the thickness to 3. I will show the points of every day, and I will make this chart cumulative. Finally, I will remove the grid lines of this chart. I will set a border for this chart, background white, border blue, and with this chart I will show you how to analyze it. Here I can compare how I am doing today versus the same day in the last month, so I can compare my current performance versus the past. You can see that I was below the performance in the last month, but I am catching up, and I still have like 10 days to overcome the last month. That's how you use cumulative time series on Looker Studio. Here is how to create tables on Looker Studio. And for this example, we will be visualizing our methods creative performance. So here I will go to add a chart, I will insert a table, and I will paste it right here. Here I can set as dimension add image and also the add text. So I can visualize the image and the copy of my creative. One of the best things of Looker Studio is that I can actually visualize the image of my creative, and this is something that executives, marketers, and analysts love. Here, as metrics, I want to see the purchases, so I see my conversion data, and along with conversion data, I want to visualize my amount spent or my ad spent. Finally, I want to show a summary row so I can see the total values, and I will modify the size of the columns so my images fit well. The next step is I will go to style, and on style, I will show the title, and the title for this table will be Best Creatives. Once this is done, I will wrap the text of my title. So even though I change the size of my table later, I will be always able to see the full field name. Here I wrap the text, then I will set this font to white, and it disappeared. Now I will change the header to purple, and now the text is back again. I will change the rows colors background to white, and the other rows they will be purple, so I can clearly visualize the difference between these rows. The next step for me is I will remove these rows numbers. Also, I will wrap the text so I can fully see the copy of every creative. And for every metric, I want to visualize the values, because only reading the numbers can be hard. But if I can visualize it through a bar, you will see that it is easier to read and to analyze. So the first metric, which is purchases, instead of number, I will set it as bar. I will set it purple, and I will show the number, and I will make the number compact. And I will do the same process for the ad spend. The ad spend, I will set a bar. I will set it red because red technically is bad because I spent is a cost. And here I will show the number and I will make this number compact so it is easier to read. Finally, I will set a background. The background will be this purple, and I will set a border. So as border, I will make it purple and I will make it rounded so it is 25. And as you can see, we have created a table in Looker Studio to visualize our creative performance for meta ads. To create a heat map on Google Looker Studio, go to Add a Chart, then select Pivot Tables with heat maps and paste the visualization. Now select the row dimension. I will choose hour of day. I am connecting GA4 data for this exercise, and as column, I will say day of week. Then the metric will be sessions, and the sorting for the rows will be hour, and I will make it ascending so it starts at 12 a.m. and finishes at 11 p.m. And the sorting of the columns will be day of week with ascending sorting. So it starts from Monday to Sunday. Then on the style, I will change the header color. So the color will be black and the font will be white. Then I will wrap this text so I can see all my data in one view and I don't need to scroll to see more data. Once I wrap this data, I will adjust and modify a bit the size of this column so I can see everything in one place. And finally, I will change the color of this table. So I will scroll down and I will select, instead of blue, I will choose the red color and I will finish with a background. I will make it white, and here is how you can create a heat map on Google Looker Studio. This is a great use case of pivot tables on Google Looker Studio. I want to spot keyword cannibalization on my Google Ads data. In theory, I don't want to compete with myself. I don't want to have multiple campaigns, ad groups, or ads bidding and competing for the same keyword. And this is exactly what this table is showing me. For the same search term, I can see that I am triggering three ad groups that are competing among them. For that, it might increase my CPM. If you want to have this analysis, you can download our free Google Ads dashboard template on Google Looker Studio. To create an area chart on Looker Studio, I will show you this example. I will start with this Shopify data where month by month I see my best acquisition sources to bring sales to my Shopify store. To create this chart, I will go to Add a Chart and I will choose Area Chart and I will paste it right here. As time dimension, I will choose first, I will choose date. So I will visualize my data by date. And the breakdown dimension will be my UTM source. So I see acquisition sources, and the metric will be total sales. Perfect. Now we are visualizing date by date what acquisition sources are bringing sales to my Shopify store. But I will change the format. Instead of date, we'll show you here. Instead of date, I will choose year month. Now I am visualizing month by month my Shopify data by acquisition source. I will do some changes in the styling. I will show you options. So here in style, I will go to show stack. I will remove it, and you can see the values independently, know how they compound to the total sales. Here, instead of like this, I will show cumulative, and over time I will see how every acquisition source is getting sales, but not I am not showing the total sales of all of them. So I will remove it because I don't like it. Here I will show again a stack, but this time I will show you the cumulative with the stack data. Now I can see the distribution over time of all my acquisition sources to the total sales. Here I will remove this cumulative, and now I will make it 100% stacking. Instead of showing me the total sales, it will show me the percentual distribution of these sources. What it means. For instance, I will see, hey, Google is taking 20% of my sales, but in November they have a drop and now they are contributing more again. That's just an example. Here, I will remove, I will show the points. So every month I can see the data, and I will remove the 100% stacking. And then I will again will remove the points. I didn't like this. I have a very similar chart to the one in the left. I wanted to show you some ways to display these area charts. Now I will change the colors. Why I would like to change the colors by orders? Maybe if you have very consistent values like acquisition sources, you can make them visually easier to understand. For instance, Facebook can be blue, Instagram can be pink, Google can be green, and Bing can be black. I will choose random colors here for all these values just to show you how to change the colors of these areas, but this is not that interesting. I already showed you how to create an area chart. Here, I will change the grid lines. I don't like the grid lines. And the background, I will change the border and I will change the background to white. And here is how you can create an area chart on Google Looker Studio. To create this bar chart on Google Looker Studio, I will go to Add a Chart, select the stack bar chart, and paste this visualization on your dashboard. The first dimension will be age, and the second breakdown dimension will be gender. The metric will be sessions instead of views, and the sorting will be by age ascending. Now I will go to Style, and I will change the name of this chart. It will be Audience Demographics. Optionally, I can select the number of columns I want to visualize and also group by others. And also, I can select to do 100% stacking. The way to read this chart is that regardless the age group, the traffic is evenly split across male and female across all these age groups. I will remove this option and I will show the total card. This will enable that when a user hovers over this chart, I will see the total traffic and also the split difference between male and female. I will also show the total label, so hovering becomes irrelevant because I will be able to display the data right away and I will make these numbers compact. Now I can change the colors of this chart. I could choose single color, so I could select a blue, but this is not easy to read, so I will change it to bar order. The bar will start with a red for the unknown values, a purple for the male, and green for female. So I can distinguish the values in this bar chart. Finally, I will change the thickness of these bar charts and I will remove the grid lines. As always, I will make these grid lines transparent. I will choose a white background and also I will add a rounded border to this chart. And this is how you can create bar charts on Google Looker Studio. To create a pie chart on Google Looker Studio, go to Add a Chart and select the Donut chart and paste it on your dashboard. Now I will create an acquisition sources report with GA4 data. My dimension will be session medium and the metric will be sessions. And here I have my bar chart on Looker Studio, but I will change the styling. So I will go to style, I will turn on the title, I will add a title, and I will select the number of slices I want. For instance, I can group them into others and only select 5 slices in total. Now I can change the colors of this. So the first slice will be purple instead, the second one will be red, and the third one will be green. Then I will change the radius of this pie chart to make it thinner. And I will end by placing the text in the bottom of this pie chart like this and then change the background into white. And here is how you can create a pie chart on Google Looker Studio. To create a line chart on Looker Studio, go to Add a Chart, choose Line Chart, and paste it on your dashboard. For this exercise, I will be using GA4 data and I want to compare the age group of my traffic, and the metrics will be sessions, and I want to compare with key events or conversions. But there is an issue. When I choose key events, I cannot see them in the chart, and the reason why is the scale. I am comparing 7,000 sessions for only 25 conversions. I will fix this. So I will go to Style, and I will turn on the title, and I will add a summary of this chart. I will say that the more traffic, the more conversions I will get. This is just an example. Now I will change the color of this line chart. So I will choose the color, and instead of blue, it will be red. I will also show the points of this line chart and I will show the data labels or the values. I will make these numbers compact and I will add a background to this data label. It will be purple and I will make this background rounded. So I will choose 20. You cannot see the difference because the background of the chart is purple, but I will change that. The second thing I want to do is I want to change the color of the key events. They are blue, I want to change them to purple, but I cannot see them because of the scale, but that is the next step. I will change it to purple and I will change the axis from left to right. In the left side, I am seeing a scale from 50,000 to 400,000 sessions. In the right side, instead, I am visualizing 200 ranging to 1,000 conversions. Now I can compare these two metrics even though they are very different. And I can see a relationship. I can see that the more traffic, the more conversions. However, even though people from 28 years to 24 years drive the most traffic, they are not driving the most conversions. And I also can see that most of my traffic, I cannot categorize the age group. I will do some minor changes. I will make these bars a little bit narrower. Also, I will remove the grid lines. I will always make them transparent. I prefer that. So the grid lines will be transparent and also the background will be white. And here is how you can create line charts on Google Looker Studio. Scatter plots are a great way to visualize relationship between metrics. In this example, you can see that we are seeing every dot is a different ad name of my meta ads. And I want to see if there is a relationship between the CTR and the total conversions I am getting. It seems that the more or the better CTR, the more conversions I get. Remember, every dot here is a different value or a different ad. To create this chart, I will go to add a chart and then scatter, and I will paste it right here. Once this chart is pasted, the dimension will be add name. So I will type add name, and after I choose the dimension, I will choose the metric. The metric will be CTR. And as the Y metric or for the vertical axis, I will choose leads. So we have created our scatter plot chart, but I would like to do some changes to make the insight more obvious because it seems to be a relationship there. The better the CTR, the more leads. So I will go to style, and on style, the first thing I will do is I will change the color from blue to purple, and then I will change the title of this chart. So I will turn on this title and I will say the higher the CTR, more leads I will get. Here, I will scroll down and in trend line, instead of none, you can put linear, so you can draw a line like the one in the left side. Then I will scroll down and I will go to change the background color. So I will put white. And with white, I will change it. And here I will add a border in this chart. So here I will put 25. And finally, I will also make this border purple. So I will choose purple, and we are done. We have created our first scatter plot on Google Looker Studio. I will show you a way to analyze your social media or ad performance data that will make you look like a data scientist in front of your team or clients. I will use scatter plots not to find a correlation, but to do a cluster analysis, or in another way to say it, I will classify my top performing posts based on two variables. Let me show you with an example. In this scatter plot, I am visualizing all my Instagram posts, and I want to compare them by two metrics: the post impressions or the visibility, and the post engagement rate or the effectiveness. What is interesting here is that the engagement rate is not necessarily related with the visibility. As you can see, this post has very good engagement rate but very low visibility. This is counterintuitive because I will tell that, or I will think that the Instagram algorithm will reward me with higher visibility for this post, but this is not the case. Also, this post, very good visibility but very low engagement rate. That's why clusters will help us to spot this post based on two variables, not only engagement or not only visibility. As you can see, we are drawing the average engagement rate in this vertical line, and horizontally, we are drawing the average post impressions. In this first quadrant, I am classifying my top performers because these posts have very good engagement rate or better than average engagement rate and better than average post impressions. And these two posts in particular, I will call them like my outliers, another way to say it. So these are my top performers in general in terms of engagement and visibility. What I will do is I will look at them and maybe I will create posts similar to them because I want to replicate the success. Now, in this other quadrant, I have posts with very good visibility but low engagement rate, and finally in this quadrant, low performers, low visibility and low engagement rate, and I want to avoid performers like these ones. Now, how do I create this chart? Let me show you. I will go to add a chart and I will choose the scatter plot and I will paste it right here. Now, the dots are different posts, and the way I can classify this post, as I mentioned, is using the post caption. With post caption, every different caption will be a different dot in our scatter plot. The X metric, or the metric in the X axis, will be the post engagement rate, and for the y-axis it will be the post impressions. Now we are almost done. Now we need to change some things in our design. I will go to style and I will change the colors. Instead of none, I will set colors by value, and I will remove the grid lines as I always do in all the exercises. I also will change the color of the text. The text won't be black, it will be gray, and I will now draw this average line. So I will go to add reference line and I will start with, instead of constant value, I will set a metric, and the metric will be post engagement rate. By default, Looker Studio will show me the average post engagement rate, and I will call this label engagement. So this will be my average engagement. My second line will be post impressions, but first I want to change the thickness. So the thickness will be 2, and I will make this purple. And now the second line won't be engagement, will be visibility. So the second metric is post impressions, the calculation will be the average, and the label will be visibility. Now we are almost done. I will change also the thickness. It will be 1. This one will be different, and I will make it purple as well. Finally, I will only change the background, as I always do. So I will change the background, I will remove the grid lines, and I am done. This is how you can create a scatter plot on Looker Studio to analyze your social media performance or your ad performance or even your SEO. Whatever you can do, I think this kind of analysis is very useful. It is super simple and actually looks like sophisticated math. I will see you in the next lesson. Treemaps are very useful to understand the hierarchy of my data. In this example, I am connecting Meta Ads data and I want to segment by publisher platform like Facebook, Messenger, and Instagram. But below these platforms, I have platform position. On Facebook, I have banner, stories, and feed. As you can see, I have different levels to segment and break down my data, and that's exactly why I would like to visualize my data with Treemaps. To create them on Google Looker Studio, I will go to a chart, I will select the tree map, and I will paste it on my dashboard, and I will create the same query. The query will be link clicks as metrics or clicks, and the dimension will be publisher platform and then platform position. Finally, I will do changes in the styling. The first is the title. I will call this traffic distribution, and I will change the initial color. The initial color of the larger values will be red, and the final color of the smaller values will be green. Finally, I will create a header, it will be purple, and the text will be white. And this is how you can create tree maps on Google Looker Studio. To set and visualize goals on Google Looker Studio, you might want to use bullet and gaze charts. I will show you how to create them. First, I will start with bullet charts on Looker Studio. Go to Add a Chart, select the bullet chart, and paste it on your dashboard. As metric, I will choose post engagement rate from Instagram Insights. I want to know my post performance. And remember, post engagement rate is a percentage, so I need to express the range limits in decimals. The first limit will be 3%, the second range will be 10%, and the final range will be 15%. Also, the target or the goal will be 8% engagement rate. This is interesting because I can see my actual performance 5% versus my goal 8%. Now I will change the style. On style, I will set the color to purple. The background also will be purple, and the letters or the font will be also purple. As you can see, I love purple. Finally, I will change the background, and we have created a bullet chart on Looker Studio. Now I will create a gaze chart on Looker Studio. To create it, go to Add a Chart, select the gaze chart, and paste this visualization on your dashboard. Now I will keep the same metric as before, post engagement rate. I will go to style and I will change the colors. The first color will be purple. The background also will be this lighter purple. And finally, I will select the target. The target is 8%, and I will show the axis value so I can see the ranges between 0% and 10%. And this is how you can create bullet charts and gaze charts on Looker Studio to visualize your marketing goals.